Welcome back. I talked from the first part. Today I talked about the etymology of ad hominem. Talked about the power structures. One technique for attempting to shut down dissent of its dominator presence and of its manipulation by less than 1% of the population, so-called powers that be, or the powers that believe they be, and who need you also to believe they be. They have one technique in argument to try to shut down the opposition, and that's ad hominem, or to the man. It's literally to a man. It's Latin, ad to hominem, a man. And Aristotle pointed out how it's a fallacious or false argument technique. It's a way to deflect attention from the subject at hand in this moment, that direct evidence in a case that objectively backs up your position, your argument, your claim. That's how you present a case, with evidence, proofs. You got to prove your point. Ad hominem takes the argument and shifts it away from all of that evidence to the personality, to the man or woman, womb man, presenting the case, the evidence, and attacks their mentality. Watch the 4-part BBC documentary called The Death of a Conspiracy Theorist, story of Alex Spears, which this only goes back to 2016, just happened, in which they continually call Mr. Spears a conspiracy theorist, and the whole thing is geared around using ad hominem and not, or going after Spears, calling him conspiracy theorist and questioning his mind, and using footage from these obvious agents of shutting down dissent, of the agents of the system who sound so calm and lucid and clear when they say, we've found that the psychology of the conspiracy theorists involves a mistrust, a fundamental mistrust, a suspicion, and so the implication being that these conspiracy theorists are paranoid. They don't have any objective reason for this mistrust or this suspicion. No. So all they can do is use ad hominem because they can't deal with the actual evidence. The evidence shows very clearly a coordinated conspiracy of a vast minority of the human population to consolidate and maintain power, wealth, control over the human family, over all of Mother Earth. A global control grid, which is documented as an agenda which is flatly stated in U.S. military-industrial papers and reports, documented an agenda entitled Full Spectrum Dominance. Weather control, food supply control, mind control. Why do you think the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, had a mind control project, which has been disclosed and is objectively shown, and is even in popular entertainment like the Errol Morris documentary and like the show Stranger Things? I want to show you some Jefferson quotes right now. Thomas Jefferson. This will be from Monticello.org. A Thomas Jefferson encyclopedia. An article courtesy of the Thomas Jefferson Encyclopedia. Monticello.org site, research and collections. Here's the quotation I wanted to share with you. When government fears the people, this is from Thomas Jefferson, when government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. And then variations, it has little variations here. When governments fear the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. The strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is, as a last resort, to protect themselves against tyranny and government. Does the government fear us, or do we fear the government? When the people fear the government, tyranny has found victory. The federal government is our servant, not our master. When the people fear the government, there's tyranny. When the government fears the people, that's freedom. Sources consulted, searching on the phrase, fear the people, government fears. Papers of Thomas Jefferson, digital edition, Thomas Jefferson Papers and Thomas Jefferson Biographies collections in Hathi Trust Digital Library. Thomas Jefferson Retirement Papers. Earliest known appearance in print, 1914. Earliest known appearance in print attributed to Thomas Jefferson, 1994. Other attributions, Samuel Adams, Thomas Paine. Status, we have not found any evidence that Thomas Jefferson said or wrote, when the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny, nor any evidence that he wrote its listed variations. Comments. One source attributes this quotation to Jefferson in the Federalist. The Federalist, however, was the work of Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison, not Thomas Jefferson. Nor does the Federalist contain the text of this quotation. This quotation is vaguely similar to Jefferson's comment in an 1825 letter to William Short. Some are Whigs, liberals, Democrats, call them what you please. Others are Tories, serviles, aristocrats. The latter fear the people and wish to transfer all power to the higher classes of society. The former consider the people as the safest depository of power in the last resort. They cherish them, therefore, and wish to leave in them all the powers to the exercise of which they are competent. To date, however, the most likely source of this quotation appears to be a series of debates on socialism published in 1914, in which John Basil Barnhill said, "Where the people fear the government, you have tyranny. Where the government fears the people, you have liberty." So I know you see that quote all over the place. Did Jefferson? There's no proof that he said that. So, but does it not make sense? When the government fears the people, there's liberty. When the people fear the government, there's tyranny. People fear the government right now in this country. Huge fear of government. Huge fear of authority. That's why we don't have anything close to a united liberation movement or anything resistance movement in this country right now. And there's a reason to be afraid. They had the Patriot Act on the books. WikiLeaks disclosures, and the federal income tax, the IRS, that can take away everything from you. The federal income tax is transparently anti-constitutional. The 1913 16th Amendment should be repealed. And watch the Ken Burns documentary on Prohibition. You'll see that it mentions right away in there that there was no federal income tax before the 16th Amendment in 1913, same year the Federal Reserve Act was passed. And where did the government get its money? There's no income tax. How did they get their money? This guy said to me, there's always been income tax everywhere. That's all governments has always been. That's an assumption. Can you prove it to me? Well, I can prove to you that it hasn't always been the case in this country, in America. And the reason it was originally, Congress was prohibited from taxing private citizens' income is because it'd be a violation of the barrier between public and private citizen, public government. It's the whole basis of the law of this land, and it's obviously been overstepped by government. We should not have a situation where the people in this country are afraid of their government. That's an obvious sign of there being a huge problem. So what paid for our government? Well, they taxed liquor, alcohol, booze before the income tax. They got a lot from that. But then came prohibition. The teetotalers. Total abstinence. Synchronicity from yesterday. I got 12 of them, as in the Most High of 12, L, of the Bible, the Torah, the Taurus, the flying Canaanite bull god, the sun, anthropomorphic image of Jesus and Jacob, Jack in the beanstalk, Jacob with the ladder that goes from the heel. Jacob means heel catcher, the heel of hell to heaven of head, and he sees God face to face. Genesis 32:30. Sees God face to face, and what does he say the name is there? Pineal, or pineal, or the pineal gland in the brain tree. At 3 and 12. 1, 2, 3. 3, 3. 3, 3, 6 of the base 6 of the 3, 6, 9, 12. Jesus has 12 disciples. Jacob, Jack has 12 tribes. Israel. Yes, Ra-Israel. Isis, Ra-El. Here you have Cancer the crab coming up in the sternum, the breastbone, the hard shell, the summer summit, Christ crest of the wave of time, of Saturn, Chronos of chronology, anthropomorphic, man and God combined, mythology of MithRas. 11 items, 7 cents change at 7:07 p.m. $30.84 at 7:30. $30 total, 30th minute of the hour of Horus, of the hours, the 12. The hours, 12, the clock positions, the 12 moons, months. Moons are months, and here we are now, today, on April already, Thor's Day, April the 25th. With a waning moon going to the black moon of death. All next week, black moon. And new here on May the 4th. May Day coming up of Beltane, of the bull and the bell. The Lord, El, rings the bell in the clock tower of Taurus, of time, of torture, of torrent, of Jack Torrance, Mr. Torrance, Tony, and the tiger in the woods, in the Gulf of God, G-Alf, Aleph, golf, the ball in the hole, the pen to the paper, penetrating, opening, the pine, spike of the spine, 18 items, invoice number ending in 18, 0418. I showed this to this man, and he asked me, wait, what is this? after I highlighted it for him, and then I clarified it, told him this is called the invoice number, it's the order of the transaction, 418, and it corresponded with your 18 items in your purchase. And he told me upon leaving with a delightful grin on his face, genuine human smile. He had an accent from he was an immigrant, I think probably Eastern European, and he said I made his day. And it made my day when he told me I made his day. 13 items, and the total ended in 13. $25.13, 13 items in the purchase. 1, 3, 4, 44. 8H. 23 items, total 7767, invoice number ending in 67367, 7717 subtotal. 23 is the difference between 77 and 100. Number of items 23, and 67's the both here, 1 and 13, 13, 4, 4 again, and the time was 6:14. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. Alive. Aleph. Alpha. Bethel. House of God. 5:51 p.m. $151.66. Excuse me, 6:51. 6:51 p.m. The subtotal was 15166. See the 651 above, and the total subtotal dollar amount, and the 6151 time, and the 360 and 390 invoice number. 3912 123, and there were 12 of these yesterday on the 24th. 12 24 36 360 48 12 3, 8 items. 6:38 p.m. invoice number ending in 83. Same numbers reversed. Palindromatic, anagrammatic. 3 8 11 11 11. Total 32 13. Subtotal 30 82. 82 83, and then the 8 items of the infinite of H, of the hatch, of the connection, of the neck, and the tarot, of the stories, the Taurus, of the Torah, told, rotaries, tarot, torrents, torrent, torment, torture, tour, T-O-U-R, take a tour, a trip. 11:33 at 1:11 p.m. 111 1133 total. Paid 233. Item 7, invoice number 8438. At 1:10 p.m. Look at what the change was, $10, and the total was $10.21. $10.21 total, $10 change after paying with $20.21 cash, and 1:10 time. And invoice number 8436. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 6 is 21. So the invoice number reduces to 21 when you add those numbers up, and the 21 cents at the end of the total. 101, IOI, ayahuasca. 11 items at 12:13 p.m. 11, 12, 13, and where's the 14? That's the end of the invoice number. 11, 12, 13, 8, 4, 14 invoice number, 8,414. 11 items, 12:13 p.m., 8414 invoice number. Synchronistic Epic. 12 items at 12:12 p.m. 12:3, 333. And the total ended in 57 and began with $34. $34.57, 34. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 57 cents, 5 and 7's 12. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 2L, Eve, even, L even, L even. As I've said many times already, you will not find the letter L of English, angelish, anywhere else other than the names 11 and 12. When you go through all the number names 1 through 100, you won't find L anywhere else. Go through and do it yourself. 48 items, 12:42 p.m. 12:42, 48, 12 times 4. Invoice number 84, 25, 4 and 8, 12, and then look at the total, 118.40, 84 there, 84 there, 48 there, and then at 12:42 p.m. the omega number of the base 6 of sixness and health. Hare Krishna.